So one of the good things of cutting off a lot on a tree is that it fits easier on the screen of your camera. So this is where we are now. Well, I like it. No, I don't like it yet, but I think there is some future there. This is going to be a nice branch. This is not nice, it's too straight, but it would be nice if I could give it a little curve, so I can try that. And I'm sure that this whole tree would look a whole lot better when I put this more in the back. So this is not going to be difficult. Just going to put a wire here. Let me think. Yeah, I think I'm going to wire these two together. It's always important to anchor your wire. So I'm not going to wire this one, but I'm going to anchor the wire for that one on this branch. So I'm using a fairly thick wire so that I don't have to strangle the tree too much. Some people would say that you have to do that. This part is dead, so it's only getting in my way. And I hope you'll agree with me that by just putting this here, this will make a whole lot of difference. Okay, so wiring is always interesting to overdo it, because when I remove the wire it's gonna bounce back. So I want it here, so I'm going to put it just a little more in the other direction. Yep, and maybe this one just a little. So this makes a back branch. Maybe I can put this one a little more as an S form, just to be sure that it is not straight. So this is good, I think, for a start. Like so. Now wiring this is possible, I think, but this one I'm going to have to compress, so I'm going to first put some raffia on it. Okay, using raffia, I love it. It makes me feel like I'm a real bonsai professional, you know. It looks so real when you use it. Well, sometimes it's really important to do that. It's not only protecting the bark, it's also creating some extra tension on the branch or on the trunk, and so it prevents it from snapping. So I use a few raffia strings together, and then I wind them around, and when I come to the front I pull, so that it's nice and tight around the branch I want to work with. Like so. I want to make some curve here, so this is something that will not be easy, and I will have to use the whole length of the branch to obtain some movement. So I really must do my best here to make this okay. one of the mysteries of working with raffia is, okay, well, you have the raffia around the branch now, but how do you end it? Well, there are a few possibilities. The bonsai demos are full of it. One thing that is always necessary is to have raffia that is a little too long, because otherwise you'll end up with some problems, because you cannot make a knot and things like that. But yeah, I don't know how everyone does it, but I have my own system. So at the end I make just a little turn, which is completely idiotic, but because I make this turn, I can now open this, and the parts there's nothing that will go back. So now at the back of the branch, I'm going to make a knot, and of course double it, because it's not going to stay where it should stay otherwise. So the knot is in the back, and I don't see it. Well, you want your tree to look nice, so now this is hidden. Of course you have this ugly knot here, but I mean, it's not important. You're not going to show this tree in a show now with raffia. Okay, so now for the wiring. Yeah, before I wire, I'm going to cut the remainings off, like so. Now, it's important to choose the right kind of wire, not too small, not too thick, but I think I'm going to go for a little bit too small and double it. I'm going to anchor it around the trunk here, and I'm going to need a piece up to here, so 1/3 more. You take what you need, and then you take half and you add half, so it's going to be something like that. And this one, I like to have it quite tight. I'm really pressing it against the branch, so you see the size was okay. Now they're going to tell you that if you double a wire, you must follow the first wire, which is of course probably right for some situations, but not for what I want to do, because I'd like to have this wire is not only going to give the branch the position that I wanted, it's also going to give some support to the branch. And because I'm not exactly sure how I can bend it, I want also support in the middle part, so I'm going to put it right in the middle. And if you do not agree on this technique, you can yell at me and things like that. If it makes you feel better, feel free. Okay, now, well, you'd be surprised how much pressure I will have to. I'm going to try to get it this way, make some kind of S here. So I'm going to put my finger here as a leverage point, make a severe bend. That works, and then from here I'm going to try to get back to this and a little to the front. But I'd like to do it a little more. Oh, it snaps. Well, I have to put it back now. And because it is contained by the raffia and it's quite sealed, I might still get lucky and see and get the two parts to stay together. This is because I used a lot of wire and well distributed. So it's still not dead. Future will show. If it's dead, I'll probably have some new buds, or I'll have to think of another plan. But that's how it goes with azaleas. So I have, instead of a straight thing, a curved thing, well, a broken thing. Well, future will tell. Future will tell. So of course this makes me very anxious to do something here and to do something here. But I don't care. I'm going to do it anyway. I'm going to try. You saw how it worked. So this probably will snap too. But I'm going to do the raffia. I'm going to put the wire and we'll do the bending together. And if it snaps, well, it snaps. Okay, so I'm now going to try to bend this branch. As you see, it's coming a little to the front and I like it to be a little on the back, but it's not going to be easy. So I'll have to do some bending here. I think it's impossible. I did not put raffia here because, well, it might be more interesting if I get some back budding here. Good thing is I have some back budding here, so this might become interesting for the back of the tree. Another thing I did is that I put a wire here and I put a wire here. I anchored them around the trunk, so that means that if I try to get this to the back, I might break it, but I'm not going to rip it off completely. So first of all, I'm going to try to put it a little that way. This is not gonna bend, it's impossible, but I'll try. If I can take it just a centimeter, would be great. It's bouncing back, so it's really no use. If I want to bend this, I think I'll have to find a quite a severe solution with some anchor points or something, but this is not going to be possible. It's always bouncing back. Would be nice though to have it in this position. No, it's doing something, definitely. But it's better, but it's still coming back. So maybe I'll have to find something to anchor it. Well, I don't know about that. I'll have to think of a solution. So I'm going to let this rest for the moment. Yeah, I'll find something. Okay, so the other part that I wired is the top here. So I'm going to move the camera. This is a rather small branch, so this should not cause as many problems. Of course, it was a little tricky to wire it because I didn't want to damage the new buds on it. So I'm going to give it a little S shape. Not that I want this tree to be S shaped, but this way I have no real straight portions. It might be a little more interesting. Okay, so I'm gonna slightly overdo it now. I'm petrified. This thing breaks so easily. Okay. So maybe I find a solution for this. Gonna have to think a few minutes, so please let me think. Maybe this one should be wired too, just to open it up and get this straight line out. So it's not gonna be a big problem. So I have a piece of copper wire here, which I will fix under the other wire. The good thing about this copper wire is that it is very strong, and well, it's ugly because it has this blue fitting, but it is protecting the bark. And like I told you, this is absolutely not a show tree, and to be honest, I have no show trees because I don't do shows. I'm no club or something, so it doesn't really matter. So this is much better. You see, you can still bend this. I need to do something here. I'm not going to say I came up with a solution, because it will only be a solution if it works. But if I put this bar here, this iron bar, I can pull the branch towards it, and it's even better if it is here. So but I must protect the tree, so I'm going to put this here and this here. And I noticed that when I did that, I was opening up the two trees, which is of course something that I really would like to do either, because it might be interesting to get some distance between the two. So this is not going to be easy, of course, so this is already quite pushing hard. So now I have to insert this piece of wire, this bar inside it, which might be completely impossible, but I'm going to try anyway. It worked. Okay, so if I can now, we'll see what's happening. If I put tension here, it's not really opening the tree, maybe just a little, but I have an anchor point for this branch, which I can bring a little to the back, but I must of course use a little wire here to do so. But I must also keep in mind that this branch can break. Yeah, so I'm going to take a thicker wire for starters. Yeah, so I need to get somewhere here. And I took this one with a fitting because I wanted to have something that protected this branch, and I'm going to give it a twist around so that it doesn't move too much. Now I'm going to make a twist here. Okay. And then slowly try to bring these two together. At this point it is moving. It's very good. Still okay. Yeah, that's not bad at all. But of course it will bounce back. So I must try to do it a little more. If I can put this one against this would be very good. I'm going to lose a whole lot of wire here, but okay. So can I keep it this way? Well, there is some foam here. That's why you always need to take a big piece of foam, because when you do that, it's going to move, and there's foam here. Of course, there's too much foam now, but this is in place, so it's now possible to get rid of some parts of this foam. Which will make it, well, a little more acceptable. Like so. And now, of course, the excess wire can come off too. Well, it was here. Now it's here. So, and it didn't snap. But it's ugly. Well, yeah. Well, it's better. I'm liking it. And if you can see it, it's not straight. It's making a curve. So that's also kind of cool. Yeah. It will take ages before this becomes a beautiful bonsai. There's one thing that I don't like still. It's this one. It has to come off. And I have to clean the stump up a little more now. Because it was, well, interfering with the general silhouette of the tree, the general, how should I say, movement, direction. And well, what I can do now is just nibble off a little dead stumps so that they can heal. For the rest, I'm going to let this tree grow and hope that it grows well. And then in the coming year we will see what we have as new growth, what we can keep, and what we must remove. And of course this cannot stay longer than 1 year, because it's gonna cause all sorts of issues when it starts to digging in, and well, that's what you don't want. So that's it. I hope you found it interesting. I kinda liked the work, I must say. I always think it's nice to start a new tree from rough material. So if you find an azalea on the trash, you can always give it a shot like I did. So thank you for watching, and see you next time.